God of War asks a simple question. I've done things that I can't take back. What do I do now? Sound familiar? If not, God bless your soul. You've clearly led an uncomplicated moral life. In this video, I'm going to talk about God of War's meditation on violence and how all of that made me want to re-examine my own family's violent past.
I'm going to cut off your head now.
Fair enough.
It's hard to imagine a line that summarizes a character better. Kratos is rage incarnate, effectively wiping out every god and demigod in Greece. Tricked into killing his family and betrayed by the gods, so hellbent is Kratos on revenge that the earth itself breaks. Already, we see the cost of what violence can be. Not only is it destruction to the world around Kratos, but his inner life is left in turmoil as well. After getting revenge on every single god, Kratos is empty, and that emptiness is manifest through the gaping hole he renders into his own flesh. Violence had become cyclical for Kratos, not only because the gods sought revenge on him, but also because Kratos let himself indulge in it so freely. Or at least, that was the portrait of Kratos we see leading up to his journey to the Norse realm. When he reaches Midgard, something curious seems to have happened to him. He's calmer, like a lot calmer. The semblance of a life has emerged. He chops trees for his wife's funeral, looks after his son, and tries to lead a quiet life out in the woods. This life couldn't be more different from the one he used to lead. How could this possibly be the same person we've seen up to this point?
Not like we're gonna erase Kratos' past. It's not like all of a sudden you start this game and Kratos is a great guy and he's going to saving people and he's gonna be a good dad. No, he's the same guy, right? It's just that in the previous games, the monster that was inside of him was let out all the time. And I said in this one, he's making the attempts to actually keep the monster inside.
Sony Santa Monica knew that we'd have this question in mind, and they came up with the perfect person to prove to us that Kratos was serious about being different. Baldur. Baldur is the driving antagonist throughout Kratos' journey. He's everything Kratos has left behind. If Kratos is now the monster contained,
You do not want this fight.
I'm pretty sure I do.
Leave my home.
Baldur is the monster emboldened.
Fine. My turn.
This confrontation for Kratos then is not just about the immediate reality of violence that can occur, but also violence that will occur. The inception of a new cycle of violence. What is he going to do when he's faced with a mirror image of himself? We see that Kratos chooses non-violence, at least initially, and that's huge, because we know what Kratos is keeping at bay. Rather than violence being Kratos' default setting, he's found a way to move through the world outside of violence. And with that in mind, it's hard not to feel bad for someone like Baldur, because it's clear that he doesn't know any other way than violence.
You are going to have to kill me for that to happen.
His mother, Freya, in order to protect him from an untimely death, made him immune to all threats, physical and magical. While that means he's invulnerable, he also can't feel anything.
I can't taste. I can't smell. I can't even feel the temperature of this room. Feasting, drinking, women, it's all gone.
You never
Gone.
feel pain again.
For that reason, he's mad, and understandably so. Yet, when he's finally given what he wants, a release from his prison of immortality, he still can't let go of the rage he's nurtured.
I can feel this.
He's vulnerable now?
Like Kratos in Greece, Baldur has let violence dominate his way of interacting with the world. It's the only tool in his toolkit. It's not surprising then that Kratos has this to say to Baldur.
This path you walk. Vengeance. You will find no peace. I know.
He knows what this rage looks like. He knows where it leads. Kratos is warning Baldur of the danger of indulging in violence, how empty you'll feel after all the adrenaline is gone and the blood is still on your hands. God of War's ethos has shifted from how can I show what violence is to how can I show what violence means? Yet for all this talk of breaking cycles, Kratos still decides to take Baldur's life.
The cycle ends here. We must be better than this.
And not for nothing, there is a meaningful difference in motivation here. It was to save Freya, but the result is still depressingly the same. Violence being used as the most meaningful tool of how we interact with the world. And at this point, I really began to wonder, is this all there can ever be? This question matters to me so much because I grew up around violence, devastating violence. My father was abusive and he beat me, my siblings, and my mom, sometimes within inches of our lives. And we inherited that too. Things never got seriously out of hand, but violence was an everyday occurrence, even amongst just myself and my siblings. It was woven into the very fabric of our family life and was the only way we understood to interact with each other. Now, my mother had the courage to divorce my father when I was 7, and everyone in our family stopped laying hands on each other by the time I was 12. Yet, even with the threat of violence gone, it was hard for us to have an extended conversation with each other. Not because we were worried that it would escalate to violence, but because we didn't know how to be without it. That's the devastation of violence. It snatches potential, the potential for beauty, love, connection, and in its place, you're left hollow. When I saw how hard it was for Kratos to even just put his hand on his own son's shoulder, I understood what that meant. Here's a man trying to understand what tools he has in this life to connect, to make his life meaningful, to make the world make sense outside of violence. And he's failing, but fuck, he's trying. And ultimately, he succeeds. We see his relationship with his son blossom to the point where there isn't even a second thought about a moment like this.
Father.
No. We do it together. Son.
2 years ago, at the start of lockdown, it dawned on me how sad it was that every day I'm at home with my family and we barely speak a word to each other. And I sat down with them and I said, I think we can be more than this. And we started to talk and laugh for the first time in years. And if we were at a minus 50 before, we're at a 30 now. Still a failing grade, but hey, it's a work in progress. God of War offers me hope. Like Kratos, I know what it's like to come from a legacy of remorseful decisions. But Kratos proves that who we've been isn't who we have to be. Like Kratos, we can become the versions of ourselves we always hoped we'd be. So, when you've done something you can't take back, what do? You choose.
Who I was is not who you be. We will be the gods we choose to be.
All right, I'm sure you're thinking, geez, Jamal, that was a downer. I know, that was on purpose. It's been over a year and a half since I posted on this channel, and during that time, I was thinking a lot about this content. Originally, this channel was all about social and political issues and connecting that to media. That's still true, but now I really want the nucleus of this channel, the core of it, to be about honesty, being honest with myself about who I am, what I've been through, and how you might find even just a wee nugget of value in that. Just a wee little, nice little chicken nugget of value. Yes. I pinky promise not every episode is going to have this much gravitas, but if this did leave an impression on you, drop a like, subscribe, and consider joining the Patreon. I'll see you nerds again soon.